Welcome to Loud Thoughts. Today, we're diving into a topic that I think resonates with so many of us in this fast paced world, that nagging feeling of being lost, even when, on the surface, everything seems to be going right. You know, that sense of success, but an underlying emptiness. It's a real modern dilemma.
Absolutely. It's something I hear about constantly, both in conversations with friends and just observing the general cultural mood. We're talking about this quiet struggle where people are checking all the boxes: the great job, the impressive social life, maybe even the picture perfect family. But inside, there's this profound sense of just going through the motions. It's like you're busy, you're productive, but you can't quite connect with a deeper purpose or genuine fulfillment. It's a very common experience, I think.
Right, going through the motions. It's such a powerful phrase because it captures that sense of inertia, almost autopilot. And you mentioned the pressures that drive this. What would you say are some of the biggest culprits pushing us into this state where we're performing but not truly present?
Well, a huge part of it is undeniable societal pressure. From a very young age, we're conditioned to believe that success looks a certain way: good grades, a prestigious university, a high paying job, certain material possessions. There's this relentless narrative that if you just work hard enough, achieve enough, accumulate enough, then happiness and contentment will magically follow. But the reality is far more complex. We chase these external benchmarks, often without really pausing to ask if they align with our own values or desires. It's a powerful current pulling us along, making it incredibly hard to swim against.
And on top of that, we have social media, which seems to amplify everything. It's not just a subtle societal pressure anymore. It's a constant, in your face highlight reel of everyone else's supposed perfect lives. How does that play into this feeling of being lost despite our own successes?
Oh, social media is a massive accelerant for this particular dilemma. It creates what I call an amplifying effect. We're not just comparing ourselves to our immediate peers anymore. We're comparing our unfiltered, messy day-to-day realities to the curated, airbrushed, and often completely unrealistic highlight reels of thousands, if not millions, of people online. This cultivates an insidious pressure to maintain a facade of perfection. You feel compelled to only show your best, your most successful self, even if internally you're crumbling or feeling utterly disconnected. It's exhausting, frankly, to constantly perform for an unseen audience, and it deepens that internal chasm between who you truly are and who you feel you need to be online.
That emotional exhaustion is a critical point. Maintaining that facade, that outward display of having it all together, must take an immense toll. Can you speak a bit more about the emotional cost of this and how it impacts our overall well being?
The emotional cost is profound, really. It leads to a constant state of low-grade anxiety and a profound sense of loneliness. When you're perpetually putting on a show, you're not allowing yourself to be truly seen, which then prevents authentic connection. You start to feel isolated, believing you're the only one struggling while everyone else effortlessly navigates life. This disconnect between your public persona and your private self can manifest as burnout, persistent fatigue, and even physical symptoms of stress. It erodes your sense of self-worth because you're constantly evaluating yourself against an impossible standard rather than valuing your inherent being. It's like living with a constant emotional drain, and it absolutely chips away at our mental and physical health over time.
So we're productive, we're busy, but there's this underlying emptiness, the sense of not having a clear purpose. How do we navigate that internal disconnect between our frantic activity and the search for meaning?
That disconnect is the core of the problem for many. We're trained to equate productivity with purpose. The busier you are, the more important you must be, right? But often we're busy doing things that don't deeply resonate with us. We're working towards goals set by others or by old versions of ourselves without checking in to see if they still align. To navigate it, you really have to start by creating space for reflection. It's about consciously pausing and asking yourself, why am I doing this? Does this task, this goal, this path truly nourish me, or am I just chasing an external validation? It's a challenging internal audit, but it's essential to bridge that gap and start moving towards a life that feels genuinely meaningful, not just outwardly impressive.
That internal audit sounds crucial. And it leads me to something you mentioned earlier, this quiet hope. It suggests that while this struggle is real and widespread, there's also a path forward. What exactly is this quiet hope you're referring to, and how do we find it?
The quiet hope really begins with validation. It's the immense relief that comes from realizing you're not alone in feeling this way. So many people experience this internal disconnect, the sense of being productive but empty, busy but unsure. When you hear others articulate the very feelings you've suppressed, it's incredibly powerful. It normalizes the experience, making you feel less like there's something inherently wrong with you. This validation opens the door to honest self-reflection, allowing us to move past the shame and isolation. It's the first step towards self-compassion and understanding that it's okay not to have all the answers, and it's okay to question the path you're on, even if it looks perfect from the outside.
So, once we validate the experience, once we realize we're not alone, what's next? You talked about embracing uncertainty. That sounds counterintuitive for many people who thrive on planning and predictability.
It absolutely is counterintuitive for many, because our society often rewards certainty and clear trajectories. But embracing uncertainty is about understanding that not having all the answers right now isn't a failure. It's a natural part of growth and evolution. It's learning to sit with the discomfort of not knowing what the next step is, without immediately trying to fill that void with more busy work or external distractions. It means trusting that clarity will emerge, not through forcing it, but through gentle exploration and allowing ourselves the space to experiment. It's a fundamental shift from rigid planning to a more fluid, adaptive way of living, where the journey itself holds value, not just the destination.
And part of that exploration, that shift, is redefining success. Because if our current definition of success is leading to this emptiness, then clearly something needs to change. How do we start that process of authentic self-inquiry to redefine what success means for us individually?
Redefining success through authentic self-inquiry is really about turning inward. It means consciously detaching from those external metrics we've been given, the salary, the job title, the number of followers, and instead listening to your own internal compass. Ask yourself, what truly brings me joy? What activities make me lose track of time? What contributions feel meaningful to me, regardless of how they're perceived by others? What kind of legacy do I want to build, not just for the world, but for my own sense of peace? It involves deep, honest introspection, and it's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. It means having the courage to align your life with your values, even if that means making choices that look unconventional from the outside. That's where true fulfillment lies, not in the chase for societal approval.
This conversation is so important because it's a recognition that simply being productive isn't enough. It's about finding purpose, even in the uncertainty. If you've been feeling that familiar tug of being busy but empty or productive but unsure, I think this conversation offers a powerful starting point.
Exactly. This isn't about abandoning ambition. It's about reorienting it. It's about understanding that our well-being and sense of purpose are just as, if not more, important than any outward achievement. It's permission to slow down, to question, and ultimately build a life that feels truly authentic and enriching from the inside out. Don't underestimate the power of simply acknowledging these feelings. It's often the first and most courageous step toward genuine change.